Hey guys, Naz here with another video. In this video, I'll be going over how to S-rank all missions in the challenge battles introduced in the Ino DLC. I stuck with my no tanks, no problem build for the full metal Jaguar, and synergized some of my other builds to fit around it for maximum support. This is a late and endgame team build for anyone who is attempting to do this before they get all the jobs, so you have been warned for spoilers. Okay, with that out the way, let's get into this, yeah? Like I said prior, we're using my no tanks, no problem build, so if you need a detailed explanation of how that works, then I'll have in the cards on the upper right and in the description. You'll want these master skills I have, and these arts in the same exact position so you could pilot easier. Here's our gems, and our accessories. I made Mio a signifer since we'll need buffs to beat these challenges easily. Since we'll be having aggro, you don't need to worry about anyone dying once the build is running. Because of that, I made Noah a sword fighter for maximum damage. If you don't have Tri-Slash yet, then replace this with Glittering Stream for the time being, but Tri-Slash is now the best break in the game, so work on getting that for the Agnes factions. I also made everyone's talent art Glittering Melody besides Lance and Uni. I did that because in these challenge mode, we'll be fighting more than one enemy at once. The game for some reason has a very hard time quickly swapping from one enemy to another when you kill them, and this is our biggest weakness. Since we rely on attacking the whole time to stay in an invincibility window with infinite evades, we can't because the game won't let us attack right away. I have a solution for that and we'll go over it when we get there. I made Lance a support soul hacker since Mio can die, and if that happens we have a chance to just straight up lose because of what I said about the vulnerability period. He's mostly just here to buff and to help raise if needed. Senna is doing orc things.
I'm the girl with the gall.
If you don't have the accomplished Van braces yet, then use Break Brooch. If you have any questions after seeing this setup and you watched a detailed full Metal Jaguar build, then please ask, as I tested this for over 4 hours before releasing this, so I know if it works, and there are some times where you just have to mulligan the run as you had bad RNG. We're using Melia as we'll need to do one chain attack out of all these challenge battles, which is the last one, and I found a heroic chain very useful. Okay, now that we're set up, let's go over what we'll do. First off, teleport to the area in case you were idle and the time change from day, so Platinum Brooch is active. I'll show this off on the very last challenge as it's the hardest one. Once you get into battle, let your auto attack connect, then Fatal Barrage, Quick Draw, and Demolish. Most of the time lands will use the critical buff, making us have fusion arts right away, so keep an eye out. After that, the AI should be using Glittering Melody. From there, you'll want to chain fusion arts from X to Y and then B and repeat. If you ever find yourself without a fusion art but Quick Draw, Area Slash, or Jackal Claw are up, then use this as an individual art to maintain invincibility frames until things line up again. If all else fails, then use your talent art to buy time, but out of the 4 hours of testing, this only happened less than 4% of the time. At the 1 minute mark, the second boss will appear, so if you haven't killed the first one, make sure to use the tactical menu and select focus attack, which is up on the D-pad. Once the first boss dies and the timer's past 1 minute, the third will spawn. You'll want to use your talent art here to grab aggro on both of them. Just continue doing what you have been. The bird has the lowest HP pool, so it should die relatively quick. After the bird die comes the hard part. Try and quickly swap to the last boss and establish aggro so no one dies. From here, we're hoping for our allies to break, topple, and launch it. Once that's done, chain attack and kill it. If you need any tips on chain attacking with this team composition, then we'll go over them now. Assuming you copied the setup for each character I showed you, you'll want to attack with Y for Noah. Having him smash the enemy's wasted DPS in the long run, as our allies will lose DPS from the launch period, and trying to set the launch up again is an overall DPS loss. Mio will mostly be using X to pass power charge, assuming she had it before going into the chain attack. If she didn't, then use Y, and then X afterwards. Uni will mostly want to be using Y for maximum damage. Tyon will use X. Lance will either be doing Y to buff allies quickly with power charge and a crit buff, otherwise we'll be using B. Senna will be using X, and Melia will either do X at the start if she had orbs, otherwise you'll want to set up orbs with B and then release them on the 5th round with X. You'll mostly be wanting to do a DPS, Melia, and another DPS, assuming you're going to be passing 200. This lets us infinitely loop these characters for the maximum damage potential, which will ensure the boss dies. And with that, we'll want to be using Taion, Melia, and Uni, with Melia always being the center. You'll either want to swap Taion or Uni if they'll surpass 80 TP, which will pass 100 with the First Blood bonus. Try to weave in a healer here so they keep up power charge in these rounds. After the chain attack is the easy part. I saved the dragon for the end since he constantly moves out of attack range, and in trying to move closer, we're completely open to getting hit. For that, our allies will help immensely here as they'll loop him into the smash combo so we can move without getting hit. And with that, I give you my setup and demonstration on how I S-rank all the challenge battles on hard mode. Don't forget, if this video brought you value, please leave a like, and consider subscribing to see more as I plan on making a guide for Ino after I run some more tests. Until the next video, I'll see ya.
Come on, who else? Yes, Uni's the boss.